Welcome back, everyone, for another version of Express Court. So, try to keep this quick. So we have the brand new Traveler Whiskey brought to you by Chris Stapleton. So, obviously, when you think of Chris Stapleton, everyone loves Chris Stapleton for his music, right? I mean, the man is probably one of the most talented music artists on the planet. I mean, he sings, he writes, he sings songs with his wife as well. I mean, the man is just... he's just famous. He's phenomenal, a fantastic singer. I love his music personally. Now, it is a little interesting, though, that when you think of Chris Stapleton, most people think of Tennessee whiskey. However, kind of funny they came out with his own whiskey, though, but not Tennessee. A Kentucky whiskey, right? Kentucky bourbon. That's kind of funny. So I guess he didn't want to partner with Dickel or Uncle Nearest or even Jack Daniels. So, no, all jokes aside, so obviously Chris Stapleton, he partnered with Buffalo Trace, specifically Harlan Clark, the master distiller over at Buffalo Trace. So obviously Buffalo Trace, they have access to thousands and thousands of barrels. So when Chris Stapleton was partnering with Harlan Clark and Buffalo Trace specifically, Harlan created over, I think it was about 50 different blends for him. However, they decided on blend number 40. This one right here says on the front, blend number 40. So blend number 40 should be very interesting. So I've already poured a little bit of this in my infinity bottle. So I've already had, gave this a chance to kind of air out a little bit. Do want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Chris. One of my patrons was kind enough, because I didn't see this by me, at least prior, but one of my patrons, my buddy Chris, he was kind enough to send me a bottle. So thank you very much, Chris. I do appreciate it. All right, let me pour a little bit now on this. So MSRP, $40. So not bad. MSRP $40, and this comes in at exactly 90 proof. So 90 proof, and it's exactly blend number 40. All right. So I'm wondering, the only, I guess, potential issue I have with this whiskey is it good quality or is it gimmicky? When you think of celebrity whiskey that's out there, there's so many different celebrity whiskeys that are out there. And I'm just wondering, is it good quality whiskey or is it very gimmicky like a lot of the other ones that do still exist on the market today? We shall see. I don't know. All right. So again, $40. So it's not that bad from a budget standpoint. Availability is making its way across the U.S. Obviously, it's starting to become widely accessible, which is good. Just wondering, is it, number one, is it worth $40? Is it all hype because of Chris Stapleton and because it's Buffalo Trace? I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. All right, let's go ahead and get into this real quick. I hope it's not gimmicky. I love Chris Stapleton, but I don't know. Not sure about his palate. His music, that's a different story. All right, let's get into the nose real quick here. So I will say on the nose, wow. Very light. Gosh, there's not really a ton, honestly, coming from the nose. Even from the color. I know it's 90 proof. Don't have the exact age on this, so no exact age statement, but it is 90 proof. Wow, there's not a ton in the nose. There's a smidge of some baking spices, some apples, a smidge of honey, smidge of vanilla, but more apple, honey kind of forward, and a little bit of baking spices. Not a ton, though. It's very, very faint. Very thin on the nose, actually. Great bottle design. I will give them that, credit for that for sure. On the inside, you got the little map in there in the back, which is really cool. It's neat. The whole concept is cool, but is the whiskey good? That's a different story. Before I go ahead and sip this real quick, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts on the new Traveler bottle from Chris Stapleton and Buffalo Trace. And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right. Chris Stapleton, 90 proof, $40 bottle. Cheers. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Wow. At the back of the palate, like a big, almost like a cinnamon kind of a note. Like very cinnamon forward, actually. That's weird. That's really weird. The apples are there. A little bit of honey. Very quick palate. Very clean. Not very bold. Not very robust. That cinnamon note is definitely in the palate. That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, man. So, Judge, is this worth a buy? Is it worth $40? Tell us. What's the verdict? Well, the verdict is in. Love Chris Stapleton. I mean, seriously. Many of his albums. Big fan of Chris Stapleton, right? And I mean big fan of his music. This is a $15 bottle in a $40 bottle. So what does that mean? It should be priced $15, maybe $16. It's a $15 bottle. The MSRP should be $15, not $40. That is just, it's not even the fact that it's 90 proof, right? Not everything needs to be cask strength. You can have 90 proof whiskey all the time and have really good expressions that are out there, right? 90, 95 proof, even like a 1792 small batch, right? Which is like what, 92.7 proof or 93 proof. Fantastic whiskey that is at a lower proof point, 93 proof versus this is at 90 proof. Fantastic whiskey. And also that 1792, by the way, that small batch is like a $35 bottle. This screams gimmicky. Stop it. This is so thin on the palate, it's absolutely ridiculous. So this bottle, while I love Cousin Nita, when she comes over and loves her mixed drinks with bourbon in them, she can use all of this, literally, and I mean all of this. That is straight up. Thank you, by the way, Chris, for the bottle, but that is a crying shame. Chris Stapleton and Buffalo Trace, you guys owe us more than that. And I'm serious. I want to repeat that. You owe us, all of us, more than that. That is a crying shame. That is a definite do not buy. I've never did this before. That's a 2 gavel do not buy. Never did it before, but the first time today. Here we go, folks. I don't even want that last little drop. Until the next time, peace, cheers, salute, and make sure you don't grab that bottle. Peace. Take care.